Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Welcome to another car video starting here. I wanted to do a kind of easy challenge for the week. This is my first week back at work. Today is Thursday. I'm going to run this through Wednesday. But this is my first day back at work after my vacation, and I wanted to film a reading challenge, but I wanted it to be a little bit on the easier side, but still like a commitment to reading and still a little bit of a challenge. So what I'm going to try to do is average 100 pages of reading every day this week. So yeah, I'm hoping that I can make some good progress in this, and realistically, like 100 pages of reading is just over an hour and a half of reading typically for me. So I'm hoping that it isn't too bad. Like I said, I'm working today and tomorrow, and then I'm on call over the weekend. So I don't have too much planned for the weekend, but it is all so dependent on how call goes. But then I work Monday, Tuesday, and then I'm off Wednesday to finish up the challenge. But I thought this would be a fun commitment and a fun way to ensure that I'm getting a good amount of reading in each day. So I am currently reading Two Twisted Crowns, the second book in, I think it's the Shepherd King series, and I'm enjoying it. I'm at the point where I'm like actually getting back into the storyline because I read the first book back in March, so I had a little bit of time off between them. But I definitely like remember what was going on now, and I feel like now things are about to start happening. I'm on page 115, so my goal for today is to make it to around page 215. I'll just try to find a chapter somewhere around there. Like I said, we're just trying to do an average of 100 pages a day, so if there's a day that I have extra time and I read a little bit more, that's fine. Or if there's a time when I don't have quite the time to read, that's also fine. I don't want this to be too stressful of a challenge, and that's kind of why I wanted to have this challenge start today and then end on a day that I'm not working, because I could potentially make up some extra reading then. So yeah, it is, I got here a little bit early. It's 6:35 right now, so I have about 30 minutes of reading that I can do right now, so that'd be about half of what I need to read for the day. No, a third of what I need to read for the day, because it's about an hour and a half of reading. So if I could do 30 minutes in the morning and then just have to read for an hour after work, I feel like that's pretty reasonable. We'll just kind of see how tomorrow night goes, because if I get stuck doing a call case right after work, then I could potentially not be home till like 10 o'clock. So that's the only day that I'm really concerned about not being able to make the reading. Alright, so it's right at 7 a.m. now, so I am about to head into work. But I wanted to update you guys. I made it to page 136, so I read just over 20 pages this morning. So I'll have about 80 pages left to read tonight. And yeah, we'll see, because I thought I'd be able to read like an easy 30 pages this morning, and that didn't happen. But we'll just have to kind of see, because this may be a bit of an ambitious challenge now that I'm thinking about it, because it means that I'm pretty much going to finish this book on Saturday. I think it'll leave me with like 15 pages or so, something like that. Yeah, like exactly 15 pages left after the Saturday. So finishing this book in 3 days is a lot for me, but I do think it'll be a good challenge to force me to read, and then I could potentially even read, I should be able to read a whole different book after I finish this one. Between Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, I could read about 400 pages, which would be whole second book. So that's kind of what I'm hoping for, because then I am going on another short trip at the end of next week, so it'd be nice to have another book wrapped up so that I could start a new book for my travels then. Morning, you guys. It is Friday morning now, and I wanted to update you on how far I got last night, but also that after reading yesterday morning, and then I wasn't even supposed to be at work late last night, but I ended up not getting home until a little bit after 7, and then by the time I had dinner, and yesterday was just an absolutely chaotic day at work. Like, there was so much going on that I was just exhausted. Like, I was so drained. And so I decided to change this challenge, and instead of reading 100 pages, because that ended up being a lot after being at work, I've decided to just read for an hour, because then I can go past it easily, but just feasibly after work, to just ensure that I'm reading an hour each day just makes more sense. So I'm on page 177 now, which is still good progress, and I'll still be able to finish this book by the end of the weekend. So my goal is a little bit changed, and instead of 100 pages, I'm going to try to read 60 pages every day, and then hopefully over the weekend I can make some like additional progress. But just feasibly, 100 pages was a lot more than I thought, because I was not like, I didn't waste a lot of time last night. Like, I maybe sat on my phone and like watching YouTube videos for maybe 45 minutes, like not long, and I was still like reading. It was like 9:15 and I was just exhausted, so I went to bed. But yeah, I did end up reading to page 177, so I did read a good like 40 pages last night. So I'm going to continue reading again this morning. It's 6:35 now, so I have about 30 minutes of sitting in my car. So I feel like this works better, because since I'm on call tonight and I might be stuck at work late again, if I can just ensure like reading 30 minutes before work and then guarantee 30 minutes after work, then I feel like it's just going to work a little bit better that way. So I'm going to continue this. I am definitely enjoying it. It's definitely different than the first one, because our main character like isn't really present right now, and so we have like all new characters. So kind of figuring out some of those. We have like a new point of view in this book compared to the last book. So just kind of reintroducing myself. We definitely have a lot more of who were side characters in the last book. Alright, it is 7 a.m. now, and I just made it to page 200, so made a good little bit of progress here this morning, and I am on chapter, I think, 28, but still enjoying the book. Excited to, I feel like we're at a point where like a lot more things are happening, and yeah, I don't really have any idea how the book is going to end or like what's going to happen next, so I'm definitely intrigued to continue reading it, because I feel like there's a lot of things that need resolved in the last 200 and some pages. So definitely excited to continue reading this weekend and hopefully finish it. Like I said, if I continue reading 60 pages instead of finishing it the last little bit on Saturday, I'll be finishing it on Sunday. Alright, so I am back now. It is Saturday at almost 5 o'clock, and I was exactly right with my guess, and I was on my way home last night at like 6:30, and we got paged in before I even made it home, and we were there until like 10:30 last night. So I came home and like immediately fell asleep, and then we got paged again this morning at 9 a.m. and I was like just starting to wake up, and we got back at, I think it was around 3:30, 3 o'clock, somewhere in there, and I ate some food and ended up falling asleep for a little while. So I'm just now starting some reading, but I'm on page 208, chapter 29, so I definitely have some catching up to do, because I still need to read. I don't even remember what page I was supposed to get to, but I think I was supposed to be at page like 230 something. So I need to try to read pretty much to page 300 today if I want to try to catch up with my reading from yesterday and read my total for today. So I think that's going to be my goal, but we'll see how far we get, and I will update you guys. This is making me very glad that I changed the challenge instead of doing 100 pages, because realistically, like, there was no way I would have been able to read. I would have still had like an hour of reading from yesterday, plus over an hour and a half of reading today. Like, just realistically, there's no way I'm gonna get 3 hours of reading done when it's already 5 o'clock, and I'm still feeling pretty tired, so I'm gonna be going to bed probably early tonight. Hey guys, I am back. It is Sunday afternoon now. It's just after 3 o'clock, and I am starting to do some more reading. Last night, I ended up making it to page 305. I'm on chapter 38. So I'm making some good progress. I don't think I'm going to finish the book quite this weekend, but I'm going to be very close. So we'll just kind of see how the rest of today goes. We ended up getting paged in at like 4 a.m. and then I was gone until probably close to 7 and didn't really fall asleep at first, and then had a really bad headache, and so I kind of slept through the middle of the day. But now I'm awake, and I sat on my phone for a while, and it was kind of giving me a headache, so now it sounds like it's going to start raining, so I'm going to read, and we'll just see how far we get. Like I said, it's getting really interesting at this point. I feel like there's so much that needs to wrap up in the last like 130 pages. The book was primarily about Elspeth and Raven, but this one has Elm as a pretty big character. So it's just interesting because I feel like we have two completely separate storylines going on, and they need to all kind of come together and resolve themselves in just over 100 pages. So I'm going to keep reading, and we will see what happens. We'll see how far I get tonight, and we'll see how it goes. I may update you again tonight. I may update you tomorrow morning when I am back to reading again. But yeah, we will see. My goal is to still try to read the 60 pages today. So if I can make it to page 365, I would be very happy. And then that would leave me with right at 60 pages left. So I would be finishing the book tomorrow night. So let's just see how far we can get. So I've been doing some reading today, and it is almost 8 o'clock, and I'm going to start kind of winding down for bed, but I made it to chapter 44, page 362, so I've made it to my goal, and I'm just going to keep reading for a while, just going to see how far I can get until I get tired, and potentially even finish the book, because at this point there's not a ton left. But yeah, things are definitely like, answers are revealing themselves and things are getting figured out, but I know with where I'm at now, like, a bunch is gonna happen. Alright, it's Monday morning now, and I made it to page 372 last night, and then I was just feeling very tired, so I went to sleep at and then I was just feeling very tired, so I went to sleep right around like 9 o'clock, I think, and then we got paged at 11:15, and I was gone until 3 a.m. So luckily that means that I'm able to go into work a little bit late today, but it is like 9:15 now, and I'm pretty much ready for work, so I was just going to read for a little bit this morning, making some good progress in here. Definitely think I'll be able to finish it today, but depends on how I feel when I get home, because I only have like 60 pages left, so hoping that I can get through a ton of it, but if I come home tonight and I'm just absolutely exhausted, I'll probably end up going to sleep by like 8 o'clock. So we'll just kind of see how it goes. And I'll let you guys know how much I read tonight, what I think of the end of the book, all those things, and then we can pick out a new book to start tomorrow. Alright, it's Tuesday morning now, and I did finish the book last night. I posted a short review on my TikTok, but overall it was good. It took me a little bit of time to get back into. The writing style was a little bit different, but overall I did really enjoy it. And, I would highly recommend the series. I think I liked the first book a little bit better, but I loved the characters in the second book, and I still loved the magic system. So overall, I really enjoyed that book and that series. But this morning I picked a new book to start reading, so I picked up The Unhoneymooners by Christina Lauren. And yeah, I'm going to start reading it for a little bit this morning. It's 6:45, so I don't have a ton of time. But I'm not sure if I'm caught up on all of my days of reading or not. But I did read 60 pages last night, so I'm going to try to read 60 pages of this book today, and then finish this 60 pages for this book tomorrow. And then I don't know from there. I honestly don't remember how much I read over the weekend, but I feel like I read most of it because I did spend quite a bit of time reading on Sunday. But I might be a day behind, I don't remember, but that's fine. So yeah, I'm going to read some of this morning, and then go from there. I haven't read anything really by Christina Lauren. I read In a Holidays, but I feel like it's hard to consider a Christmas story as one of their real books because I feel like they're always different. So I'm excited to pick up one of their books. And I got this one not that long ago, but I have been super excited to read it. I feel like it just seems like such a summer book. I was going to read it on vacation and then picked up a couple of other books instead. But definitely excited for this one. And I think a little rom-com is exactly what I want, because after this book, I know I want to start the Poppy War. So excited for this, and if I like this, then I'm excited to finally read Love and Other Words that has been on my shelf for, I think, 2.5 years now, maybe even 3 years. So definitely excited for this one. Don't have high expectations for it, but I'm hoping I at least love the writing. I have high expectations for the writing. The story, I think it'll still be a good story. So I'm going to read this for a bit this morning, and then I'll catch you guys up tonight on the rest of my reading. Hey guys, it is, what day is it? It's Wednesday now, so it is the last day of the challenge, and I wanted to update you. I ended up not quite making the goal last night, but I was almost there. I had one chapter short, so I was on page 50. Page 49. I was on page 49, so I read one of the chapters this morning when I woke up, and I'm now on page 73. But it is 2 o'clock now, and I'm just now starting to get some reading done. I was doing a ton of homework. I filmed a couple videos to have pre-filmed for when I'm out of town. So I've been busy, but kind of enjoying this book, kind of not. I like the writing, and I don't know. The only thing I don't like is that these characters, it's bothering me that they're related. Not related, but they're related by marriage now, because it's her now brother-in-law. And I'm hoping that I find out that maybe the two men aren't actually brothers. They're just, close enough that they feel like they're brothers. I'm hoping that is revealed. But it's just really bothering me that they're brother and sister-in-law. So, because the back of the book doesn't say that. The back of the book just says the best man. So I assumed it was the guy's best friend, not his brother. I don't know how I feel about that, but I'm enjoying the writing, and so I'm excited to get to more of the actual book, because I'm not very far into it. But I'm excited to continue reading now, and I need to try to make it to chapter 8, which is on page 138. So little bit of reading to do, but like I said, it's just after 2 o'clock, so I have quite a bit of time to read, and I have a lot of the stuff done that I need to get done today, so I'm going to sit and read some of this and then wrap up this video. And yeah, I feel like I'm very thankful that I lowered the amount of pages that I was reading. The 100 pages, I would love to read that much. Realistically, it's just not an option for me. Last night I ended up not getting home till like 7:30 because we ended up doing like an emergent case right at the end of the day, and tomorrow is a holiday, and so I'm on call for the full 24 hours. So with my work and my homework, it just isn't realistic to read for usually more than an hour, like after I get home from work. On my days off, I typically do read more, but just kind of depends. If I have a ton of stuff that I have to get done, then I'm not going to get as much reading done. I do like doing these challenges because it definitely reminds me to prioritize reading, like when I get home, but there's still other things, like I need to eat dinner, and sometimes I just need a night to just like sit on the couch and watch TV. So as much as I would love to just read as much as I can in my free time, I still want to enjoy the books that I'm reading, and if I do that, I feel like it's going to make it feel more like a chore and more like a job. And the last thing I would ever want is to like resent having to come home and having to read. So I just kind of let myself determine how much I feel like reading, but doing these challenges does motivate me to read a little bit more than I would normally. It reminds me to kind of get off my phone and spend a little bit of time reading before I fall asleep, at least, rather than just being on my phone up until I plug it in and go to bed. Otherwise, I feel like, I don't know, I feel like I feel like I sleep better if I read right before bed. Probably because I think it's supposed to be bad to be on your phone right before you go to sleep. So I try to do that at least. But yeah, I will continue reading this and then update you guys once I make it to our goal for the day.